dropped off first trailer, and today I've got this pine right there. It's so close to the house that when the wind blows it hits the gutter. I'm gonna set a speed line up, maybe off into here. But anyways, I'm gonna speed line the top limbs out, and then once I get it to be where it's a stick, then I'm gonna just drop the stem back into this way through the woods. I'm gonna run home and grab the chipper, and then we'll get started. Let's go look at this tree. I have the speed line secured down here. I'm gonna do this before I go up. I'm gonna take the other end up with me, and then I'll pull it as tight as I can, and I'll set the speed line up there. I gotta make sure that the knot I tie up there is something that I can undo with a lot of pressure on it. This branch here is gonna end up having to go. Speed line all the limbs right down through into here. Before I come down, the rope will be set up there. Then I can come over to here, untie this, and then now I got a pull line, because the tree's got a little bit of a back weight and left over the house. Once the limbs are all off it, and I get it shortened up to however I want, then I'm gonna drop the stick right here. Go ahead and just clear this limb out. The one I know that needs to go. Clear it out first. All right, so the speed line, I have to make sure I sling the first branch to capture the rope. Need to keep this rope in line. I want it straight out to where things are going to be going. Nice shot, Mikey. I've got a utility rope here with all the slings on it. Oh, in fact, I could probably bring them up now and get them hung. You can see I'm kind of working right over the house. So I don't want to drop really anything. Looking for dead hanging branches to where when I sling, you know, one of these bigger branches that shakes the trees, anything gonna fall out on the roof other than pine cones. I don't, well, no, I don't see anything, so that's good. This. So now that we got one in the loop, now we can go get this. We can get the speed, go to the top, get the speed line set, then come back down and start zipping branches. Oh, don't do that. Speed line. All right, now we can route this where we need it to go. Okay, now we're looking good. Alright, so I'm getting the speed line tight, and this is how I'm going to tie it. There's a lot of extra slack because I tied it off down there. I didn't know where this end's going to terminate. So I pull it tight and then just loop like this. So it creates enough friction to where it'll, just like a porta wrap. Do a bunch of times. And this way, when all the branches are hanging on this line and it's tight, I can still come up here and untie it. Good. Now a couple more. Got a bunch left over. Secure. Great success. See? I didn't put the next line on. That's why you do that. So now, we've got to go up and grab it. That is why you put the next speed line on. not going to make that mistake again, and we're going to keep clipping a couple on. Around that way. There you go. Then this one. And this you got to be able to untie this once you're up here. With all the weight on it, it's got to be something you can get undone. And see, the end where the half hitches are is still loose. So enough wraps around it holds the friction. I don't really want to send this whole top down the speed line. We're just going to top it and push it. Ombre. See how much this tree sits back. Oh yeah. Now I want to hold this end because wherever I decide to, you know, if I want to take some chunks, wherever I decide to stop, that's where I'm going to tie this on so that I can pull it over. I did a pretty shallow face cut because I want it to meet relatively quickly and break. I don't want a wide open face cut so it's going to hang on forever. So it only has to tilt about down to about there before it's going to break the hinge out. It'll be broken and then I can give it a shove. Boom, baby. And it had to start raining. It feels good though. I'll gun it for between these two pines.